You want to get better at FC25 now? Before you skip ahead, what if I told you if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money? That's the NealGuides guarantee. We got in-depth tutorials that are not even on the YouTube channel. We show you the theory of something and we show you gameplay examples in a structured format. We also go over real-life football examples that apply to the game and exclusive pro gameplay analysis, full gameplay analysis to elevate your game. We teach you everything from the basics to the meta. Come join at patreon.com/NealGuides. Links down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund your money. That's the NealGuides guarantee. Links down below in the description. Okay, so one question I get asked is the Immortality Evolution even worth it? And I understand that there's a lot of different justification, and I think you're quite right. You know, is it actually worth it? So it's 500k now. It's a lot of money. If you're gonna spend FP points, I think it's okay. It's about £8 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. My maths is not correct anyway. It's about £8. I think that's a fair price. Now, it depends what card you choose that can last you beyond Team of the Season. And we'll kind of come back to that in a second. But if you choose a card, like, you know, right now there's some really good cards that you can get that are very affordable, very cheap. So when you're choosing cards out of the stats, you got to bear in mind there's some cards already out there already. And during Team of the Season, you got to be smart. Now, the evolution itself, I would say this. The first one, ping pass. Because it depends on the way that you do it. Now, if you're asking me, look, unless you need the 5-star, and you need a league like chemistry, it's not worth doing. So you could even consider going halfway. So like, I'll give you an example, right? This is a card that I'm considering doing on my main account, on my content creator account. I think he's a very good card, but he's Polish, and he plays in the Polish league. So I can't get links with him, so it makes sense for me to use the Immortality. Now, you can see here, if you want to buff someone up, so let's say Chamberlain, right? Chamberlain, you can see is very good. Now, if you don't need the fight, like let's say you chose, I don't know, let's say you chose, okay, you wanted the 5-star, let's say 5-star skill moves. Unless you can get the combination right, and you don't get one of these pre-existing combos before to combine, you could argue if you don't need the 5-star skill moves, you can choose between a weak foot of skill moves and also don't. Like with Chamberlain, Besiktas, look, not many people are going to have the Turkish links, but you may have the links of England. So unless you need to do that final step, for example, FaZe is another card that I'm in my top 3 right now. Look, I don't have Diani, I don't have Karchawi or Bacha. So Division 1 Arcama, realistically speaking, I need to do the Immortality. So I think if you're going to be spending the FP points as opposed to spending packs, I think it's quite a justified opinion. But you see, you got to be smart who you choose. A lot of people are choosing these players that are just not good enough. Like me, personally speaking, I'm going 91 sprint speed max. I mean, minimum. Now, some of these cards, for example, they don't have 91 sprint speed. I'll give you a good example, right? So Kante. I understand why many people want to do him. I completely understand it, but 89 sprint speed. Now, that card is fine for now, edging towards Team of the Season and then around that period. But after that, this card will be good, but it will be too slow. And we could see with some, if we go over here to players and we see some of the new players inside the game, you have to also equate it to what's available. You know, you can get this 90 Mateus. Granted, he hasn't really got the sprint speed that you want, right? But you can get this card for 44,000. So you got to really take into account when you choose a player. Like, you know, you got to think, okay, let's think about everything. What do they have? So these are certain things that you really got to think about. And I think like this Smith card, I think she's an absolute steal. I think could have given a finesse to dead ball. But she can play a very good striker card. And I think there isn't that many cards that are better, and because most defenders are quicker, you got to be a bit careful. Like, you know, for example, this Abilene, chances are when you're making your card, you're not really going to get a bet. Like, let's say we just compared, just for example's sake, we compared Kante and Abilene, right? There's not that much in it. Okay, Kante, okay, bit of acceleration. She's got better sprint speed. The shooting's basically the same. The passing, Abilene's better. The physicality, it's not too far off. It's not like an amazing difference here, realistically speaking. It's just jumping. Like, this is not, okay, fine. The aggression is better on Kante. And then defending, okay, that's what Abilene kind of sucks a little bit. But, you know, this card costs 200k and it's tradable and it has arguably better plays. It depends what chain you choose, but Biggie's got Intercept already. You're basically forced to then choose another one. So you could argue she's got Intercept, Tick Attack, and Incisive, a combination you can't even get through the evolution. So you've got to be mindful. I'm choosing this Phaser card probably on my content on my main account. Yeah, she's a very good camera, 99 sprint speed, 96 finishing, but she would last me beyond Team of the Season. So do you see? You've got to be careful which card you choose. So what I would say overall is, look, this Immortality Evolution, look, you're getting +1. Like, oh, is anyone going to notice? You're really playing here for the 5-star, 5-star. That's think of it that way. So when you're looking at one of these cards, especially if you're leaning towards a cam player, I understand why you'd want 5-star, 5-stars. That would be another reason. If you need to do that alongside with potentially, let's say you need to get the evolution because you want to do the chemistry links, which is completely justifiable because a lot of these cards, they don't have the links. You know, like for example, this card over here, Chamberlain, even then English, okay, but can you get the full links? Somebody's page is not loading. Wait, reload it again. But like Phaser, you can't get the links. And Amatucci is only if you have really that combination. So that's what I would say in regards to that. So yes, I would say, look, there's an honest opinion for it. I think if you're spending 500k coins, it's not worth it. I think for the FIFA points value, if you are spending money on the game on a regular basis for £8, if you live in the West, it's actually not a bad option. I got to say that, but got to be careful because I know some people might be in the East, for example, or obviously certain countries where obviously incomes are much lower. But I would say, look, I think unless you need the 5-star, 5-star, and you need the chemistry links, don't go for it. Like if you go, one thing I'll say is, if you really want to be smart about this, you can go with someone like Joe Linton. I think he's a very good card. I know he's extinct, but I'm just going to give you an example. So he's 50k. I know he's extinct, bearing in mind that, but then you could go all the way and you don't even need to make it. Like, what's the difference between these two cards? Okay, one has 5-star, 5-star. And to be honest, if you chose a bit more wisely, you could actually technically choose what you want the 5-star to go on. So technically it's the 5-star, 4-star. But what's the difference? You know, are you going to notice 96 sprint speed instead of 95? No chance. There's no chance. So unless you select someone like Joe Linton, it's genuinely not worth doing evolution because, well, you can do it. Like if you've got the SPC 4, then why not? But like, there's not that much of a difference. But in terms of coin wise, yeah, that is when I'll be completely against it. If you got 500k coins, think about who you could think about 500k. Think about who you can buy, and maybe not now, but around the corner during Team of the Season time. If you don't choose probably someone like Phaser, someone's got 90 sprint speed, this player's going to get outdated very easily. So unless you're like in my situation where I need to get someone, this is my content creator account, I'm doing Szymanski. I need to get the bloody links. Okay, so I'm just playing him here. So I need icon links because you can see if I get an icon card here, I get some leagues up and then I can get like some combinations going. So that is the only downside. I need two more icons in this team, and that is the reason why I'm doing them. Otherwise, don't waste your time. So that would be my opinion on it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and of course, catch you next time. Peace.